If you're a trader that still thinks that you need a 70 or 80% win rate just to be successful in trading, I'm going to tell you right now, you are totally wrong, all right? You could have a 30 to 35% win rate with a 1 to 3 risk reward, and you could still be very highly profitable, all right? You could still make a lot of money, okay? So let me dive into it and show you, because I'll tell you right now, I was that trader that thought I had to have a high win rate to succeed in trading, and I'll tell you right now, it's not, okay? So let's dive into it. The win rate trap, okay? Most traders, they chase a higher win rate, okay? Which is fair enough, because what they want is that dopamine. They want those continuous trading wins in a row, okay? No one wants to see a bunch of losses like this, okay? You got like a 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 loss streak, okay? No one wants to see that, fair enough, but it happens, okay? And that's why people chase a higher win rate. That's why when traders start out, they want this higher win rate, okay? They can't bear losing, okay? And they think that more wins equals more money, okay? And to put it simply, like that is put very simply, okay? They think that more wins equals more money. I'll tell you right now, it's not the case, okay? More wins does not mean more money at all, okay? You could be winning a tiny amount of money, okay? And that's not more money than someone that's got a lower win rate that's making more money, okay? So more wins does definitely not mean more money, all right? It's the wrong metric entirely, okay? So win rate is definitely not what you should be looking at, okay? Get that in your head, okay? Win rate in by itself, it's useless, okay? You need to pair it up with a few things, okay? So just looking at a win rate and seeing whether that's a profitable strategy or an unprofitable strategy, the totally wrong idea, okay? So understand that a win rate, it's not that important, okay? You can still lose a majority of your trades and still be very highly profitable. Why traders quit too early, okay? 3 losses, 4 losses, 5 losses, even maybe a drawdown of 10, okay? Those trades, those losses in a row can feel like a failure, right? And obviously at the start, it feels like that, okay? It totally feels like that, because if you've got your equity curve like this, and you see that you've got 10 losses in a row here, right? Obviously, you're going to feel bad. Obviously, you're going to feel like you're a failure. Obviously, you're going to feel like your strategy is not good and you need to stop trading, okay? That's a totally normal response being a beginner trader, all right? They abandon the system right before it pays off, okay? You need to give your strategy time, okay? Having a high win rate where you're winning pretty much every single trade, okay? That doesn't mean anything like for making money, all right? You could be making a whole lot more money where your strategy looks like this, okay? As long as your winners, these winners are big enough, okay? And these losers are maintained well, okay? And that's why you need time, okay? So traders, they quit too early because they see that most strategies that are highly profitable without a high win rate doesn't pay off immediately, okay? That's why they're skipping these things. That's why they're not even, that's why they're quitting trading pretty much. Quitting is the actual reason they lose, okay? Not the losses. Being a loser here, you've got to go through some steps to find yourself with the profitability, okay? So with that money, all right? This isn't an easy road. It's a simple road, but it's not easy. You do have to conquer a lot of things, but I'm going to guide you and I'm going to tell you right now, it is a simple thing. You just need to follow a few processes, okay? So it's not quitting. It's not the reason, it's not the actual reason they lose. Quitting is the reason they lose, okay? It's not the losses that occur to them. All right, 35% win rate, 1 to 3 risk reward. What does that even mean? Is that even profitable? Can you even make money, okay? So with this, you can be winning approximately 1 out of 3 trades in a row. 1 out of 3 trades, you'll be winning, okay? Every win is worth 3 times every loss, all right? If you're doing 1 to 3 risk to reward, okay? If you're risking $100, your reward is $300, okay? If you're risking $2,000, your reward is $6,000, okay? That's what this 1 to 3 risk reward means, all right? The math still comes out as profitable, okay? This point here, I'm going to run you through how even over a longer stretch of trades, right? How this strategy, although you can go through some drawdown, overall, you will be profitable, okay? I'm going to run you through that maths, okay? Because the maths is profitable, okay? All you need here is above a 25% win rate for this to be profitable, okay? Anything above a 25%, you're profitable. Obviously, you'd rather be above and between 30 to 35%, but I'm telling you, anything above only 25% is a profitable strategy here, okay? So let me run you through the maths. All right, the math that actually matters, okay? So let's go through this in a very short example, okay? 10 trades, 3 wins, and 7 losses, okay? Let's remove the break-even aspect for now, even though you would be running through some break-evens here. But I'm even going to show you the worst case scenario and tell you still how this is profitable, okay? So 3 wins is 3 RR, and then which is 9 RR gain total, okay? Or you could just say 9% if you're risking 1%. 7 losses is 1 R or 1%, which is 7% loss, which still leaves you with a net positive, okay? So we can see here, these are all 3s here, and these are 1 each, okay? So we got 7 in total here, with 9 here, you're +2, okay? If you're doing that per month, okay? Like if so that per month, so that's 24% per year, okay? And if you're risking double that, you're making 48% per year, right? And this is with a strategy that takes you like 5 minutes a day, okay? You could be making 48% a year with very conservative measures, all right? That's how the math stacks out. You could do the same here for 100 trades, okay? So over 100 trades, you got 30 wins, you got 70 losses. So everything here is times 10, okay? 30 wins, you've got 90 R total gain, 70 losses, which is 70 R loss, which means you have a 20 RR overall, okay? And that's over 100 trade period. You could be trading 100 trades in 3 months. You could be trading 100 trades in 1 year, okay? So you could be making this in 3 months, all right? It just depends how aggressive you are as a trader, okay? And if you're trading this in 3 months, okay, so this times 4, where you'll be at 60 R for the year, okay? 60 RR, that's not a crazy amount. And then with 60 RR, if you're risking 2%, you're at 120% per year, okay? Those are your gains for the year. I'm telling you, this is a strategy with only 5 to 10 minutes a day, okay? It's a swing trading strategy. That's all you need, okay? So that's how the maths works out. Patience is the edge, okay? So the maths in the slide before only plays over enough, only over a small amount of trades, okay? And so it looks easy, especially with the 10 trades. It looks easy and just looks simply profitable, okay? Quit after a losing streak and you never see the 9 versus 7 RR result, okay? You have to let these trades play out over a longer period of time. Patience is what turns the maths into actual money, okay? So you can see here, let's say this is months, okay? So 3, 6, 9, 12. From month 3 to 9, okay, you made pretty much no money, all right? You're not letting the trade play out enough, all right? From this whole period right here, okay, there was no money made, okay? Even there was like money lost, okay? You were losing money over that time, all right? But that is a natural equity curve, okay? No equity curve is going to look like this, right? That's like pretty much impossible. That'll never happen, okay? You'll never see an equity curve like this, all right? What you will see is equity curves like this, okay? You'll have growth periods, you'll have downtrends, you'll have stagnant periods, you'll have growth periods, okay? Growth, down, stagnant, growth, you know? These are the kind of things that equity curves look like, okay? So what you need to do is you need to be patient with strategies, okay? If you're not patient with strategies and you only give it like 10 trades to play out, those 10 trades could all be unfortunately 10 losers, all right? And so instead your equity curve, if you're starting out with $100, your equity curve could just straight up look like this, all right? To the point where you're at, let's say whatever, $50 or $0 or whatever, depending on how much you're risking, not the point. But yeah, you need to let it play out, okay? So over 100 trades, 200 trades, over 6 months to a year, okay? These are the kind of things that you need to play out, all right? Because you might be starting, let's say you're starting from here, okay? You've just put in money and you've traded for 6 months from this period here on. You've traded for 6 months and you've made no money, okay? But then the next 6 months, because you've stuck with the plan and you stuck with the same process, that $1,000 or whatever that turned into then $800 is now $1,500, okay? Those are the kind of maths that comes out when you are patient and you let the edge play out. The one question before every entry that I make, okay? And there is genuinely only one question that I ask myself, and that is, does it follow my plan, okay? If a trade does not follow my plan, I'm not taking the trade at all, okay? It's as simple as that. I have a checklist, I use my playbook, and if it follows my plan, I take the trade, okay? If it doesn't follow my plan, I don't take the trade. Simple as that. And the reason why I do that is because if you do want an equity curve that looks like this, okay? You need to be following every single part of your checklist, okay? Because if I'm following it here and then I'm not following it here, okay? Or if I'm following it from this period on, okay? If I continue to follow it, my equity curve will go up, okay? Because I have an edge. But if I start to not follow it, okay? I start to make bad trades and trades that are outside of my plan. From this point on, I'm basically just gambling, okay? I'm losing money. I'm going to lose all my money and that's it. I'm literally just gambling because I have no plan and I have no edge, okay? That edge is your strategy and The strategy is your plan, okay? So what you need to be doing is you need to be continuously trading your plan, all right? Because then from here, you will get this growth, okay? You're following your plan here, you're following your plan here. You start to not follow your plan, okay? This is what it's going to end up like, okay? So that's the only question I ask myself. Does it follow my plan? If it does, I take it, okay? Not does it feel right, or not does it look good, or not does it look ugly, does it look sexy, does it like, is it just a good looking trade in general? I'm not asking that, okay? I don't care about that. I don't care how good the trade looks. I don't care how ugly the trade looks, okay? All I'm doing is looking at if it follows my plan, follows my checklist, okay? One question, no exceptions, okay? Does it follow my plan, right? Genuinely as simple as that, because if you're doing that and you're being consistent, okay, that's when you can start seeing your equity curve moving like this, all right? That's when you can start seeing, okay? The equity curve is moving at like a healthy rate, okay? Where you are going through some stagnant periods, but you're going through some growth phases as well, okay? Because as soon as you're not following your plan, you have two options from this point on, okay? You can either continue to follow your plan, let's say from here, right? You have two options here, okay? You can continue to follow your plan, which will help you get out of that drawdown just because it's simply maths, right? Or you can not follow your plan and continue with the drawdown and start taking random trades and be gambling in general, okay? So to end it off, the only question I ask, does it follow my plan, okay? If it does, I trade. If not, I don't trade.